Welcome everyone to another session on Current Affairs by Seals 360 IAS Academy. In this session, we will be discussing about the University Grants Commission. We're going to see a little bit about how it was formed, what is its mandate, and all those kind of things. And then we'll also discuss the UGC Promotion of Equity in Higher Education Institutions rules, which was in news. Okay, so you can expect some questions regarding this for prelims as well as in mains. Okay, so mains they can ask the general issues in the education sector. They may ask the powers because UGC is a statutory body, right? So what are the powers of UGC? They may even ask, compare it with the regulator in the or a similar body in the another country, mostly UK. Okay, so some questions related to this area you can actually expect for mains as well. Okay, so let's get started. We'll start with UGC. Okay, so the issue was that after the Rohith Vemula suicide issues in 2016, various parents they actually went to Supreme Court and they asked for stricter, tighter rules to prevent the caste-based discrimination in our campuses, right? And Supreme Court asked UGC to formulate better rules regarding that. So before this, we had a 2012 rules. Okay, 2012 rules were there. Okay, Promotion of Equity in Higher Educational Institutions rules 2012 was there, but it had what can say there was a narrow scope for discrimination. The penalties were not strict. The timelines were not strict. Okay, so Supreme Court asked the UGC to formulate a more encompassing, more expansive rules. Okay, that is why the 2026 rules were notified. So that is how it happened. So if you look at the caste-based discrimination, so if you look at our syllabus, these vulnerable sections, institutions, laws, various mechanisms for vulnerable sections can be asked. Okay, social justice in GS2, right? And it also has about 60-70 marks weightage as well. So issues concerning this lower caste, you can put one dimension. What is the one issue that they face? Discrimination in education. So education is one field where you can expressly see the caste-based discrimination. So UGC quoted this data to the Supreme Court as well as to the Parliament Static Committee. So this is a good data that you can actually use in your exam, right? You can also use in GS1, right? Issues in society. One aspect is educational discrimination in education. Okay, that is one issue that we face in a society. So there also you can put. So whenever you study something, ensure that you are actually applying it across various subjects. You can also write in ethics. Okay, you can also make it part of ethics. So UGC note that a 118.4% increase has been noted in complaints reported to it from 173 to 378. So you can show a graph, okay, that there has been a continuous increase from 2019, 2020 to 2023, 24. Okay, that has been noted. Okay, I'm just providing you with the context. Okay, now let's move on to the UGC. So UGC initially was established in 1945. It's a pre-independent body, but that time it was not statutory. And after independence, Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan, a commission under his chairmanship was formed, and it recommended that UGC should be made statutory, but on the lines of University Grants Commission of UK. Okay, so that was the recommendation. But in UK, the current system is they don't have a UGC anymore in UK. It was abolished in 1989, and in 1992 their regulator is called the Higher Education Funding Council. Higher Education Funding Council, and it governs only the financial financial grants. Okay, it is not a strict regulator. So in UK there is a soft regulation. They do not regulate the academic standards, academic things and all. Okay, so their universities have a lot of autonomy. But India, although the Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Committee recommended that our body should resemble the UK's UGC, our regulator UGC have more powers. Okay, it has the power to regulate the standards. Okay, enforce compliances. Okay, give accreditations. Okay, apart from that, it also have funding powers. It can give grants. Okay, then what else? So it has more overarching powers over higher education institution. But the UK body is more soft regulation. It does not have powers over regulating the academic issues. Okay, academic standards, all those things. is not there. Okay, so remember in UK the Higher Education Funding Council. Okay, Funding Council. Okay. So that is the history behind it. So you need to know that it is statutory and statutory body. Also know that just a little bit about the duties. Okay, so UGC in our country has various duties. Okay, grants. Okay, it ensures, it actually oversees, it has powers to give grants to the higher education institution. Then, for example, it conducts NET, National Eligibility Test exam. Okay, it actually gives the title of deemed university. Okay, recognizes deemed universities. Then what else? It advises the higher education institutions, enforces quality of education, right? Then what else? So advices, academic standards are maintained, recognition. Okay, so these are the different duties of UGC. Keep those in mind because it is a statutory body. Directly question they may ask. Okay, so it consists of a chairman, vice chairman and 10 members. Okay, so a total of 12 members are there. Okay. Okay, so next important thing, it actually is working under the Department of Higher Education, which is a department of the Ministry of Education. Okay, so initially it was formed in 1945 to govern the 3 central universities, Aligarh, Banaras and Delhi. Then it was expanded to every university. Okay, so this I mentioned already. So now what we see is that there is a bill. Okay, there is a bill, the Vikasit Bharat Shiksha Adikshan Bill. Okay, Shiksha Adikshan Bill 2025. It proposes that UGC, the All India Council for Technical Education, which regulates engineering, professional education, the National Council for Teaching Education. Okay, so these 3 bodies will be subsumed under a Higher Education Commission of India. Higher Education Commission of India. It's an umbrella body. It will also have powers of accreditation, powers to enforce quality. Okay, so an umbrella regulator is being proposed. I'm just saying that there is a proposal like that. Keep that also in your mind. Okay. Okay, so this one thing I want to add. Higher Education Commission of India, although it dilutes that regulatory aspect of UGC, it is still a regulator. Okay, understand? It is still a regulator. It does not follow the UK model. Okay, UK model is still not being followed even after the proposed reforms. Okay, it is still a regulator, but it's more what you can say. It actually takes a soft regulation approach, but still a regulator. Okay. Anyway, now moving on to the equity rules. So whenever these kind of rules and laws comes, just go and read the rules itself. Okay, either go and read the rules itself or go and read the law itself. If it is too lengthy, then you can rely on the articles and other sources. But mostly, if the rules may be very small, like 6-7 pages. Just skim through, read it with actively. You can get a gist of the issue and gist of the matter. Okay, so please use that approach. Okay. Now, UGC equity rules, if you look at the definitions, section 3 defines caste-based discrimination explicitly. Okay, 3 clause, 1 clause C. Okay, it says that any discrimination against SC community, ST community, social educationally backward classes, OBC classes. Okay, so this will be considered as caste-based discrimination, and this is one of the issue that was actually raised by the protesters because it excludes general category, right? So they say that okay, general category students are also they could be victims of caste-based discrimination. That is there, that is not taken into account. So it excludes them. Okay, there are other issues also. We'll look into that as well. So remember, 3 clause 1 clause C is actually defining caste-based discrimination explicitly. Then 3 clause 1 clause E is there. Okay, E, which defines discrimination as what you can say unfair, biased, differential treatment. So whenever you study this, you may think, okay, what's the point of this? You can actually use it in various papers. You can use in ethics. Alright. So you don't need to quote the section. Just use this bit. Discrimination is the unfair, biased and differential treatment. Right. So you have a strong definition for discrimination. Okay. It could be direct or indirect. Okay. Then it could be based on caste, religion, race, gender, place of birth or disability. Okay, another issue that was raised by the protesters was that it excludes various other forms of discrimination, like for example on the basis of region. on the basis of class, okay, on the basis of economic money, right, income class, right. Intra-caste discrimination, that is not taken into account. Okay, so these are the issues that were raised. Anyway, so the equity rules, it is a very detailed framework to ensure that there is no discrimination on our campuses. It creates the equal opportunity cell. Okay, first institution it creates is the equal opportunity centers. Okay, it will be held by a faculty. He will be the coordinating officer, and the coordinating officer is actually appointed by the governing body of the higher educational institution. Okay, the management committee or anybody, they will appoint the a particular faculty as the coordinating officer of the equal opportunity center. So if you are a victim of a caste-based discrimination, first thing you have to do is you have to write an email, write a handwritten complaint, whatever it is, to forward it to the equal opportunity center. That's the first thing you have to do. And the equal opportunity center, after getting a receipt of it, it will have inside the equal opportunity cell an equity committee will be there. Okay, equity committee. The equity committee, it will have representations from SC community, ST community, women, person with disability, all these communities will be there. So that body within 24 hours should take this complaint, and within 15 days they should submit a report. Okay, there is a discrimination, these are the actions that we recommend. Okay, if there's some police or some other authorities have to be involved, they can mention that also. Or otherwise, if they have to refer it to another committee, they can also do that. But 15 days, within 15 days, that report should be there. Within 24 hours, they have to take that complaint into consideration. Right. So just look at the equal opportunity center, the role, implementation, provide guidance and counseling, enhance diversity. Okay. So ensure the implementation, guidance and counseling for the students, enhance the diversity of the institution. Then equity committees, the complaints, strict timelines which were absent in the 2012 rules. Okay, 24 hours, 15 days. Okay. Okay, now there will also be a national monitoring committee which will be constituted by the UGC, which will look into the these equal opportunity centers. They will submit biannual reports. Okay, biannual reports. Okay, biannual means twice in 1 year, right? Twice in 1 year. So every 6 months they will submit a report which will be published on the website of the higher education institution. They will also submit annual reports to the UGC. Okay, and the National Monitoring Committee will ensure that the reports are true, right? They will conduct inspections and stuff like that. Okay, National Monitoring Committee. Then, okay, so after the equity committee gives the report and says that, okay, there is discrimination, these are the actions taken. There is no discrimination. So you feel that, okay, you are aggrieved by that. You can actually appeal to the Ombudsman. Ombudsman is another institution which is created by another rules in 2023 to address the grievance of students. Okay, another rules were there. Under that rules, an Ombudsman was created. You can appeal to that Ombudsman within 30 days. Okay, from there you can escalate it to courts and all. Anyway. Then how do UGC actually plan on enforcing these rules? UGC can say we are not going to give you grants. Okay, or higher educational institutions, they have to be listed. Okay, under section 2 clause F and 12B of the UGC Act. Okay, UGC Act has a list of higher education institution. UGC can take away the name of that institution from that list. Okay, they can prevent, debar the institution from giving, offering degrees, online distance programs, all those things. Okay, participating in UGC scheme. Okay, so this is the regulatory aspect that I mentioned. Okay, this is what makes UGC a regulator, because it can enforce certain things. UK model, this aspect is not there. They have only powers to give grants. They can only advise. Okay, soft regulation. Okay, so that is the difference between UK model and Indian model anyway. So what are the general issues? One issue I mentioned, general category is excluded from the definition of caste-based discrimination in 3 clause 1 clause C. Discrimination based on regionalism, that is not there. Intra-caste is not there, right? Ragging is also not factored in. Okay, sometimes what you can say, this caste-based discrimination, they will be linked to ragging. Okay, so there needs to be a comprehensive, ragging should be treated as a form of discrimination, right? So that aspect is not addressed. Then there is no mechanism to penalize false complaints. Okay, it can be weaponized. It can be weaponized by certain nefarious elements, right? So to penalize false complaints, that mechanism is also not there, right? So the 2012 rules were more, what you can say, expensive in the sense, certain aspect, but the implementation was quite, what you can say, here and there, because there was no strict timelines. But Supreme Court called for the principle of no regression. Okay, so it treated the 2012 rules are quite expensive. So it says that the next rules should expand from that, from that base. It should not regress. Okay. So basically that was the issue with the UGC rules. So that's all in this session. I hope you understood most of the aspects well. Thank you.